So here we are today. It's July, early July, and we're just setting off from Bowness on Solway. This is the main street, little village on the Solway coast, and we're going to have a go at the Hadrians Wall path. Let's see where the start is. So we're starting off from here. This is a little shelter overlooking the estuary and views across towards Annan, way over there, and the Scottish coastline. Rather a nice bit of mosaic work down there, showing the bird life of the Solway. Great stuff. Right, so our path goes off down there. So this is Port Carlisle. Back in the 19th century this was the port of access to Carlisle, which is about another 8 or 9 miles in that direction. It was linked by a canal and then eventually by a railway line. Both have since gone, but yeah, the remnants of the port are still here. Just about see out there a little egret, the white bird that's standing in the water there. They've just started to recolonise this area in the last, I would say, 5 or 6 years. So we're on the first few miles of the Hadrians Wall walk. We're going from west to east to take advantage of the prevailing winds, hopefully behind us. We're slack packing today. You'll notice I'm not carrying anything. Margaret's carrying a day pack. Because we live in Carlisle, or in the vicinity of Carlisle, we're going to stop when we get to Carlisle, and then from Carlisle onwards we'll carry our backpacking gear. So it's an easy day one from Bowness on Solway via Port Carlisle, Glasson, Brough, Brough by Sands, Beaumont, and then out to Carlisle. So that's our itinerary for today. Nice bit of bird song there. So we're just leaving Brough and we're entering an area called Brough Marsh, and it's the estuary of the River Heddon and the border-esque, and it's completely flat with a long straight road that eventually comes up to Brough by Sands. So Brough Marsh. So we're just in the grounds of the church at Brough Sands, and if you're a little bit short of water, apparently look at that lovely gritstone roof up there, recently restored, but there's a water supply around the back here. So as you leave the village of Brough Sands, you leave the estuary behind, the flat Brough Marsh and the estuary, and for the first time the landscape begins to undulate. It's very hot for them, isn't it? So we've just walked up a big flight of steps, and behind us over there you've got the floodplain of the River Heddon, and we're kind of elevated above it now with some nice views to the north. Well, that's 16 miles completed. We've arrived in Carlisle. We've got some bits and pieces for the onward journey. So that's the end of day one. So I made it across to Crosby-on-Edon, and we've just walked through Carlisle and along the banks of the River Heddon, and we've made it to High Crosby Farm, where you've got a very nicely appointed self-service cafe. So we're just boiling the water, and we're going to have a cup of tea. We're carrying our backpacks again today, and we're going to head towards Lanercost and maybe Banks, where I believe there's a campsite. So we've been walking in the rain for much of the day today. We've come from Carlisle through Irvington, and we're on our way. We've just come out of Walton, and we stopped at a tea shop in Walton, the Reading Room tea shop, which was quite nice. So although it's still raining, quite warm, and we're in good spirits, and that's the way forward, down the road and through those fields away in the distance, heading towards Banks next. Sheep. Hello, sheep. It's going to rain, isn't it? So when we get to the top of here, I think it's Banks, isn't it? So this is day 3 and we're just leaving Banks and heading towards Birdoswald, and that's the view. So that's Low Row, and the Pennines in the distance, and there's Banks. Anyway, our route is this way. I think we're going to be following this road a bit, but at least we're off the road. It's a bit drier this morning, which is good news, so far at least. So just as you leave Banks, you come to the first sort of tangible bit of Roman wall, and a little fortlet or mile castle maybe. It's a turret, so that's what the turret would have looked like. Very impressive. We just arrived at Birdoswald, one of the forts on the wall, and they're doing some excavations here currently. Newcastle University. We're just looking through the window here, and you've got stuff that was made in Germany, stuff from Dorset, Roman roof tiles, an amphorae containing olive oil produced in Spain. Just the job. So we're on top of the Windshield, which is directly in front of us now, and the Roman wall will follow the line of the Windshield all the way through, I think, for the next few miles. So to the north you've got the empty country of, well, I suppose the Romans would put their frontier here to keep or to control the frontier really, between the Roman Empire down there and the country to the north, the Celts and the lands of Caledonia. So here's the wall, and that's the direction of our travel. Like rain. Well, I don't know if this is strictly legal, but we've snuck into a farmyard. We've just opened the gate there and just come into this big shed full of equipment, because it's absolutely pouring down out there. Just take a look at that. Ooh. Surely we're not going to get thrown out of here. Fingers crossed. Oh yeah, there's a big shower cloud going on there. So here we are starting out on day 4. We've just come back up on the steel rig. We're camping down there at Windshield's campsite, just along the road from Twice Brewed facilities, pub, and the place where we got something to eat. So we're back up on the wall. A little bit unsettled today weather-wise, but at least it's dry at the minute. Got nice views to the north towards Kielder, and that's our way forwards, heading towards Chollerford today. And that's the summit, the high point of Hadrians Wall Walk, steel rig. That's Hexham over there. So we're about a mile away from Chollerford, and we're into sort of more rolling countryside now, with fields full of cows and trees about. We're descending quite a lot, and the sun's come out, so this is the countryside about a mile out of Chollerford. Well, good morning all. Here we are at the riverside campsite. Oh, Margaret. Good morning. Is it still raining out there?
No, it's dry. Let's get the tent down.
Right, okay. Come in now then. Right, time to get cracking. We're in Chollerford and we're heading towards Heddon on the Wall, is it?
Yeah.
So that's our objective for today. Here we go. So we're just leaving Chollerford, and I think that's the River North Tyne. So we've been walking along the military road now, well, mile after mile, between Chollerford and Heddon on the Wall. It's a relatively straight footpath, up and down, sometimes right next to the road, sometimes just off it. What can I say? The road noise, the traffic noise is a bit off-putting, and in heavy rain there's lots of water from the vehicles as they go by. If you're a bit unlucky you might get a bit of a splash, but with it being a straight road they all seem to charge along at 60-70 mile an hour as well, which is a bit disconcerting. What else can I say? The footpath is well marked, fantastically well maintained. If you look over my shoulder you'll see there's actually been a lawnmower along here. Incredibly well manicured path. Anyway, we're still walking and the rain's still falling. It's been rain all day. There's one or two opportunities on this Chollerford to Heddon on the Wall section to get you know, sort of into a cafe, to have a bit of a bite to eat and something to drink, but apart from that the evidence of sort of Roman remains is not very much other than ditches and earthworks. Anyway, the way continues. So here we are, day 6, and we camped in Wylam, which is just back there at a little campground just on the edge of the village, and we're now setting out on the last day, which will hopefully take us through to Segedunum, which is the finish of the wall walk. And we're walking by the River Tyne, which it looks like it's sort of tidal here, doesn't it? Anyway, there we are, there's a view of the River Tyne, and we're heading in that direction down into the city of Newcastle. So at the moment we're following Route 72, Sustrans route, cycleway, and it's also Hadrians Way when you get into Newcastle. And just over here is the Scotswood Road, and Benwell up there. But you're on this kind of like paved footway all the way through. There it goes. Well, that's the first nice really wide view of the River Tyne, and you're right down on the edge of it. Then all of a sudden you're in Newcastle city centre. You've got the Sage Gate set over there. So we made it to Segedunum Roman Fort, 84 miles from Bowness on Solway, walking west to east with the prevailing wind and all types of different weather. Anyway, anything you'd like to add?
It's a great experience. Get along and do it.
So please, if you got this far, give it a like and subscribe to my channel. It doesn't cost anything and it gives it a bit of a boost, a bit of a lift, a bit of encouragement to do more. So thanks for watching. See you next time.
Bye.